Hi, fifth graders. It's me, Miss Ciccatelli. Welcome to your first online art class. Today we're going to be doing shading basics. That's right, we're not skipping a beat. I know that we have left our portraits at school, but I want to show you some of the basics that there is to shading them in. And we're going to start that by watching a short video of how to shade. And then today we're going to be coloring in or shading in a sphere together. So I need you to get a piece of paper and a pencil and get ready because right after the short video, we're going to be doing it together.
Hey, I'm Darlene and you're watching a rapid fire art tutorial. When you add light and shadow to your line drawings, you can make your subject come to life by creating the illusion of form and depth. You can make a flat line drawing jump right off the page. In order to shade better, you'll need to practice 3 things: pressure control, how to shade smoothly, and most importantly, understand how light behaves. Pressure control. Realistic shading is done by creating a series of values ranging from light to dark. The harder I press down on the pencil, the darker the strokes. Portraits displaying a limited value range can end up looking very flat, while portraits with a wider value range will pop. Here we have a plain wooden ball with a light source coming down from the top left. We have 2 distinct sides: the light side, which is facing the light source, and the shadow side, which is turned away. At the edge of our shadow, we have something called a core shadow, which is a dark strip running along the boundary between the 2 sides. The core shadow is most visible on a white table because white is highly reflective. Light rays come down, bounce off the table, and illuminates the shadow side of the ball, leaving a dark band. So as you can see, we have 2 types of light: direct light and reflected light. That's why shadows are rarely all black. There are so many things in the environment that light can reflect off of: walls, nearby objects, or even dust particles floating around in the air. Do keep in mind that black surfaces absorb light, so in this example, the core shadow is no longer visible. Let's move on to the light side of the ball. On this side, there are only 3 things I need to point out. There's the core light, which is the area facing the light directly. Then there's the highlight, which is actually a reflection of the light source. This is the brightest point on an object. The edges can appear soft on matte surfaces, like this wooden ball, or hard on shiny surfaces, such as a plastic ball. And as unintuitive as it seems, the highlight can change position depending on where you're standing. The very last thing are midtones, or halftones. Midtones are the darkest values on this side of the ball, where the edges start curving away from the light source. These areas receive less and less light the more they angle away.
All right, are you ready to create your own? All you need is a pencil and a piece of paper. All right, friends, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to draw a big rectangle. We're going to make a value scale. I know we did these in 2nd grade, but I think we need to revisit it just so that you are a little bit more aware of why we are using them. So I'm going to draw a rectangle here, and I'm going to write value scale at the top. And now I'm going to draw lines in the middle of this rectangle. Okay? Draw as many as that you can fit. Doesn't make a difference how many. Nice and big, don't draw too many because then you're gonna be here coloring them in all week. Okay, so now the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your pencil and you're going to color that first box in as dark as you can. Feel free to pause me at any point so that you can fill in the boxes on your own time. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is in the next box, you're going to color this in a little bit lighter. You're going to press a teeny bit lighter on your pencil. It's still going to be dark, but as long as you see a little bit of a difference between the 2 boxes, you're doing this correctly. You're going to continue this throughout all the rest of the boxes that you have. Each box that you continue with, you're going to press a little bit lighter on your pencil. The very last box will be like you're barely even touching your paper, Okay, I'm sure some of you guys remember this. If you weren't in second grade with me, then you wouldn't. But if you were in second grade, you should remember how that we had done this before. So each box again, each box, you just a little bit lighter. You're just putting a little bit less pressure on your pencil going down to each box. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a gradient. Basically, it's a value scale without the boxes in between. We're just going to go from dark to light continuously without picking up our pencil. Okay, so just labeling here gradient for you, and you could do that too on your piece of paper. You're going to start really, really dark, and then you're going to go all the way to the light side. Okay, and you're going to do this without putting those boxes in. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to press really hard over here, and you're going to go down to the light. So what you're going to do is as you move, you're going to lift up your pencil just a little bit as you go down. You see how the areas are starting to get a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter? I'm just pressing less on my pencil. Look at all these different shades and tones we can get just using one pencil. Okay, now right next to this, I'd like you to take your pencil and just practice doing this kind of with fluidity, okay? You want to kind of just go from dark to light, just using your pencil, and go straight across. Lifting up as you go to get a lighter, lighter, lighter. Because in the real world, when we're using this, it's going to be a little bit less confined in a rectangle. You're going to just use it kind of however you see it. So go a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter. Okay, I'm going to do another one here just for practice, a little bit bigger strokes from dark to light again. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a circle. Doesn't have to be perfect, just a circle. I'm going to go all the way up in the top left. I'm going to make a sun or a light bulb, whatever you prefer, because this is going to be where our light source is coming from, just like that video. I'm going to take a ruler or a straight edge, or you can just draw this on your own, and just draw a line, dashed lines, that come from your light source to the edge of the circle. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw our cast shadow. So you're going to draw from the side to where the rays of the sun go, and you're going to go from underneath all the way to the edge of wherever that line stopped. Okay, that's going to be your cast shadow. Now we're going to find the points of the core shadow. So wherever the line touches on both ends of this circle is where that core shadow is going to be. Make sure you draw this in a curved line. See how it's not straight across? It's kind of in the contour of the shape of the circle. This will make it look a little bit more realistic. Okay, so you're going to press really dark here on your core, and then you're going to find where the ball or the sphere or the circle meets where your table is. Okay, you're going to press hard on that also, just right underneath. Now, in between these two, you're going to put what's called a midtone. Remember in the video? So you're going to press kind of medium pressure in between these two. Again, you want to kind of try to refrain from using an up and down movement. You want to go into that curve of the circle again. You want to color in a curve. Okay, medium tone in between these two. Okay, so now this looks pretty strange, right? This doesn't look real at all. So what we need to do is we need to blend in where those hard lines between the core shadow and the medium tones are. So what I'm doing is I'm just going on top of now and lightly pressing on my pencil just to blend these out. Okay, so same thing that we did above with those gradients. I want you to press hard, and then I want you to ease up as you go towards the middle of this sphere. Once you feel like you've blended this enough, you're going to take your finger and you're going to go in circular motions. We're going to rub this in, okay? Rub, rub, rub. Everything is going to kind of blend together, and it makes it a much softer tone. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to fill in the top part or the lighter part of this shadow, okay? So now we're going to press pretty lightly all the way up to the top. As you can see, I've left a little bit of white towards the top where the highlight would be. This is where the light hits the object directly. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in. Same thing that I did on the bottom. I'm going to press hard so that it matches the core shadow, and then I'm going to ease up as I go towards the top. Okay, this is going to blend that area in the middle. Then again, I'm going to take my finger, circular motions. I'm going to blend this all in to soften up the tone. Okay, once I finish this up and I've reached the desired softness, I'm going to go ahead back in with my pencil and I'm going to go around the edges, just blending, making sure that everything looks right. If you see any areas where it looks really dark next to really light, you want to kind of blend those out. So press hard on your pencil where it's dark and then ease it up a little bit when it's lighter. I'm going to make the bottom here a little bit darker. Okay, so now when you're doing a cast shadows are not all black, okay? They go from dark to light as well. The further away from the light, the lighter that the cast shadow is, and the closer that it is, the darker. This is because the object is blocking the light. So underneath your ball, you're going to press really hard. This is going to be even darker than the darkest tone inside that ball. So you're going to press really hard underneath your sphere. Okay, and it's gonna lighten up as it goes to the right, furthest away from the light. Hey, don't forget to finish that up, rubbing it with your fingers. You can go around the edges too to make it softer. All right, finishing touches. We're gonna go around these edges. We're gonna go inside, finish up our blending. Make sure that the edges are nice and straight. Anywhere that you see a line, you're gonna want to erase that and then lightly shade in so that it doesn't look like it has an outline. Things that have an outline look less real. So you want to make sure that your sphere doesn't have an outline. If you can see it, erase it, and then you're going to add in just shading. Once you finish this, I'd like you to take a picture of the entire sheet, of the whole value scale, the gradients, and your sphere. And I'd like you to upload it, please, to Google Classroom. Next week, we'll be using these skills to create a piece of artwork. I'll be on the Remind app and Google Classroom all day from 8:20 to 3 if you need any help with any of this. Hope you have a great week.